You did not click by accident. This was a transmission, a pulse from the campo itself, and in the next 30 seconds you will feel a hint of that signal move through you. The opening line is simple. You are being summoned, not by algorithm, but by a frequency that recognizes its observer. Right now there is a subtle tremor, a déjà vu, maybe a warm pressure in your chest, or a zumbido in your ears. Those are not problems. They are proof that the quântico code is waking inside your DNA. Stay with me. In 2 minutes, I'll show you one clear sign you can test tonight that proves your reality is already shifting. A tiny ritual, one whispered word, that will send a ripple through your timeline. This is not pep talk or fluff. It's an invitation to notice a pattern you've been ignoring, the field aligning you to a mission, the resonancia that makes strangers soften, the invisible hand that arranges meetings, dreams, and sudden memories. You always felt different because you were carrying coherence before the world could hear it. Now, the world is tuning in. If you feel a strange warmth or a subtle formigamento as I speak, lean into it. That's your body confirming the activation. Keep watching. A small, immediate reward is coming that will anchor this moment into your reality and give you something to test, feel, and repeat tonight. When disorientation arrives, most people panic, thinking they're broken or losing control. But what if that tremor, that pressure in the chest, that sudden fatigue with no clear reason was not a problem, but a signal? Imagine standing in front of a mirror that suddenly cracked. The reflection looks distorted, yet it's simply showing that the old glass can't hold the new light anymore. The quântico field works like that. Your consciousness is expanding, your DNA is updating, and your perception is catching up. The confusion is not collapse, it's a transition of phase. In 2 minutes, you'll see how this sense of being out of place is actually a compass guiding you forward. Think about those days when 5 minutes stretch into hours or whole afternoons evaporate without a trace. This isn't laziness or forgetfulness. It's the field flexing time to reposition you along a new line of reality. The old observer in you wants to measure the clock, but the new observer feels the vibration, the frequency shifts, the strange déjà vu flashes that bend memory. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like you had lived that moment before? That's not imagination. It's resonance, a reminder that the dimension you stand in is layered with other timelines brushing against yours. The mind calls it strange, but the soul calls it alignment. Disorientation often comes as subtle sensations, a ringing in the ears, a sudden wave of heat like invisible fire moving across the skin, a formigamento in your hands or feet that makes you pause. These aren't random. They're signals of energy reorganizing your system, the body acting like an antenna, finally picking up a new station. The old coherence is dissolving, so a higher one can emerge. Think of it like updating the software on your phone. It slows down, glitches, maybe restarts without warning, but once the update completes, it runs smoother, faster, more aligned with its design. You're not malfunctioning, you're upgrading. Maybe you've noticed your sensitivity increasing. Lights too bright, sounds too sharp, emotions that hit like a wave. This sensitivity isn't weakness. It's the calibration of your nervous system to the subtle particles of the field. When someone speaks, you don't just hear words. You feel their resonance, their frequency. It's like walking into a cafe and instantly sensing whether the atmosphere is heavy or light before anyone says a word. That's the observer within you picking up signals from the invisible fabric of reality. And here's the thing, what feels overwhelming now will later become your greatest strength. Cultural conditioning teaches us that confusion means failure, that fatigue means we're lazy, that losing track of time means we're careless. But when the quântico awakening stirs, those same experiences are evidence of coherence forming beneath the surface. Imagine the mirror of your old life breaking apart. not because you're shattered, but because the reflection was too small for who you're becoming. The discomfort of not recognizing yourself is the very proof that you're stepping into an upgraded reality, and in just a moment, I'll show you why those strange sensations are the language of your DNA remembering its code. Here's a practical way to handle disorientation. Instead of resisting, document it. Keep a small notebook by your bed or on your desk. When you feel time bending, when you sense déjà vu, when fatigue comes like a heavy cloud, write it down. Later, you'll notice patterns. Perhaps every full moon your dreams intensify, or maybe each time you make a bold decision, the vibration in your body increases. These aren't coincidences, they're the field leaving breadcrumbs, aligning you to a path your rational mind can't map. And by recording them, you transform confusion into data and data into awakening. Think of dreams you've had where hours seemed like seconds or days melted in a blur. That dreamlike quality is what the field brings into waking life during your transformation. Your body feels the zumbido, your chest feels the pressure, and your perception feels out of sync. But instead of fighting it, lean in. Just like a surfer doesn't fight the wave, but learns its rhythm, you can ride the vibration, the resonance, the invisible currents of reality. Every disorienting moment is the surfboard under your feet. Shaky at first, but once balanced, it carries you into a new dimension. And maybe the most comforting truth, you are not broken, you are updating. What you feel as loss of control is actually the field reorganizing your line of time, your particles, your consciousness into a higher form of coherence. The mirror is cracking, yes, but only because a new image is about to appear. In 2 minutes, we'll talk about why this isn't just happening in your mind, but deep in your very DNA. The hidden code that has been waiting for the right frequency, the right fire, the right moment of activation to unlock. Inside each of us lies a hidden library, more vast than any archive on Earth. DNA isn't just a biological manual, it's a multidimensional vault of codes carrying the memory of your ancestors, your mission, and your future self. Imagine spinning the dial of an old safe, click, 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 until finally the mechanism opens with precision. That's how activation feels, sudden tears in a sacred place, a lucid dream that shifts your perception, or even a song that triggers deep emotions for no reason. These aren't random. They're the code whispering, "You're ready." And in 2 minutes, you'll see why every emotion is a key. Think about those times when music made you cry unexpectedly, or when you entered an ancient building and felt chills crawling up your spine. That wasn't nostalgia. That was memory stored in your DNA surfacing, particles resonating with places and vibrations older than your conscious mind. Science calls DNA a double helix, but energetically it behaves like a coiled antenna, picking up frequencies from the field. When resonance strikes, it's like turning the right frequency on a radio. Suddenly the static clears and the message comes through. You didn't imagine it. The field was reminding you of your alignment. Our DNA is more than inherited biology. It's like a quantum hard drive, storing morphic resonance across generations. Have you ever wondered why certain talents run in families even when they're not taught? A child who sits at the piano and plays without lessons, or someone who writes poetry as if the words had been waiting inside them. That's not coincidence. It's code resurfacing. Each activation, whether through dreams, déjà vu, or sudden intuition, is your DNA syncing with the observer effect. The universe collapses possibilities into your timeline because the code inside you has reached coherence with the field. Sometimes the unlocking happens through pressure, an emotional tremor, a night of despair, or a moment when everything feels lost. It's the invisible signal cracking open your inner vault. Think of it like boiling water. Invisible particles colliding until suddenly the phase transitions from liquid to vapor. In the same way, your DNA doesn't unlock through logic, but through intensity. Strong emotions, whether love, grief, or awe, provide the fire that melts the lock. That's why sacred places and dreams feel so powerful. They act as catalysts for your inner transformation. You might ask, but why me? Why now? Because your line of time has intersected with the frequency required for this activation. The field arranges synchronicities so that your soul meets the right people, the right teachings, the right dreams, at the exact moment your DNA is ready to resonate. It's like receiving a software update you didn't consciously download. The signal arrived, and suddenly your inner program runs differently. Colors appear brighter, intuition sharper, your perception expands. What looked like confusion before now feels like destiny. And soon, we'll see why advanced souls carry these updates for the planet itself. A practical example: next time you feel an overwhelming emotional reaction to art, music, or even silence, instead of suppressing it, pause. Place your hand on your chest, breathe deeply, and declare, "This is a code unlocking." It sounds simple, almost silly, but it trains your observer to align with the field instead of dismissing the sensation. Over time, you'll notice patterns. Certain frequencies of sound, certain dreams, or certain encounters consistently activate you. That's your DNA mapping the path of awakening. And the more you acknowledge it, the faster the alignment grows. The metaphor of the safe matters because the code doesn't open all at once. You don't wake up one day with every mystery solved. Instead, it clicks gradually. A dream here, a synchronicity there, a déjà vu that reminds you of something you can't quite name. Each click builds toward coherence until the door swings open and you realize you've been in the process all along. That's why I remind you, you're not waiting for activation. You're in it now. Your DNA is already humming with frequencies, tuning itself to the next stage of your mission. And here's the bridge. Once your DNA begins to open, life changes. You realize your emotions are not random, your dreams are not meaningless, and your sensitivity is not weakness. They're the proof that you are already resonating with something larger than yourself. The field, the observer, the quantico coherence unfolding through your body. The safe has started to unlock, and the code is alive. But this raises a bigger question. Why would your DNA store such immense codes unless there was a mission waiting for you to fulfill? In the next moments, we'll step into that deeper truth. You are not a glitch in the system. You are the system updating itself from within. That's the paradox most people miss. Advanced souls don't come here to blend in. They come to disrupt old timelines, to collapse patterns that no longer serve, and to anchor new frequencies into the field. This is why you've always felt different, not broken, just vibrating at a coherence others couldn't yet perceive. Think of it like entering a room tuned to one radio station while your inner frequency is set to another. The static you feel is proof that your mission is already active. Advanced souls carry embedded protocols, but they remain dormant until triggered by life's pressure. It's like a video game. You start on hard mode, facing challenges that seem unfair, overwhelming, even cruel. Yet those difficulties are not punishment. They are the codes unlocking your hidden abilities. Imagine being thrown into deep water. You either drown or discover you can swim. The mission begins precisely when the comfort zone collapses. That collapse is the field reorganizing you, forcing your consciousness into alignment with a bigger destiny. Perhaps you've felt this as loneliness, a deep disconnection from the ordinary storyline of society. That loneliness is not abandonment, it's differentiation. When your frequency rises above the collective, the gap feels painful. But the truth is, you were not designed to stay in the noise. You were designed to embody coherence so that others can resonate with you later. It's the silence before the symphony, the pause before the vibration shifts the entire dimension. In 2 minutes, you'll see why even your solitude is evidence of your mission being real. Think of the metaphor of a lighthouse, alone on the shore, surrounded by darkness, storms, and endless waves. From the outside, it seems isolated, forgotten. But when ships approach, that single light becomes the difference between destruction and salvation. Advanced souls operate like that, shining frequencies that guide others, even when they don't realize it themselves. You don't convince with arguments, you radiate with resonance. The field does the rest, aligning particles, collapsing chaos into coherence. Your very presence is a signal. And yes, the mission often feels heavy. Carrying advanced codes isn't glamorous, it's exhausting, disorienting, sometimes heartbreaking. But pressure is part of the design. Diamonds are only formed under immense force, and stars only ignite through the collapse of particles into fire. When you feel the tremor, the heat, the invisible fire burning through your chest, remember, this isn't destruction, it's activation. Your DNA responds to intensity, and that intensity is the universe declaring, step forward, the mission is live. Every soul has a role, but advanced souls carry a blueprint that extends beyond personal growth. You're not just awakening for yourself, you're aligning for the planet. Think about global moments when individuals shifted history, prophets, inventors, poets, healers. Their impact didn't come from fitting in, but from embracing the code burning inside them. Your mission is no different. When you accept the disorientation, the solitude, and the pressure, you embody the update humanity didn't know it was waiting for. Here's a practical application. When you feel overwhelmed by your uniqueness, reframe it. Instead of asking, "Why am I so different?" declare, "I am the update." Write it down, repeat it when the loneliness hits, anchor it in your field. This simple declaration shifts your resonance. It reminds you that your disconnection is the proof of your connection to a larger coherence. Try it for 7 days. Observe how people react differently around you, how synchronicities increase, how your dreams reveal layers of the mission hidden in your DNA. But here's the twist. Your mission is not fully yours. It's entangled. Your frequency spreads like a signal, rippling through the morphic field, shaping realities for others without a single word spoken. The lighthouse doesn't chase ships, it just shines. Which means the next step is to understand the invisible web you're already part of, the entanglement that connects your awakening to the awakening of others. And that's exactly where we're going next. In the quantum field, nothing stands alone. Every particle, every observer, every vibration is part of an invisible fabric weaving us together. When your frequency shifts, it doesn't stay private, it ripples outward. Think of morphic resonance as a cosmic Wi-Fi. You don't see it, but it connects every device, every soul, syncing patterns without a word. That's why when you transform, others around you feel it. They may not understand why, but they'll sense the coherence. Your awakening becomes a signal that resonates far beyond your body. Have you noticed how some people change their mood simply by being near you? Maybe they calm down in your presence, or maybe they cry without knowing why. That's entanglement in action. Your energy field, carrying its updated code, transmits coherence like an invisible password, aligning others with the frequency you embody. Just like a tuning fork sets another into vibration when struck, your presence awakens dormant frequencies in those around you. You don't have to explain. The field does the work. You only need to be. This is why silence is often more powerful than words. A single look can reprogram a room. Have you ever walked in and felt the atmosphere shift even before anyone spoke? That's the contagion effect. The coherence in your field alters the particles of the environment. Imagine walking into an office full of stress, and without saying anything, your calm creates a ripple. People breathe easier, the vibration adjusts. That's the proof of your alignment radiating outwards, like a lighthouse in the dark. No noise, just resonance. Entanglement works both ways. You've probably felt drained around certain people or energized around others. It's not imagination, it's coherence or dissonance. Think of it like Wi-Fi signals interfering. Too many routers in one space cause distortion. Similarly, when frequencies clash, the field feels heavy, but when they harmonize, there's flow. This is why advanced souls must guard their field. You're not meant to cut connections, but to embody resonance so strong that dissonance collapses into alignment. And in 2 minutes, I'll show you how even your solitude becomes a magnetic teacher. Practical example. Next time you notice someone shift emotionally around you, don't dismiss it. Instead, silently declare, "Field syncing." By naming it, you train your observer to recognize entanglement rather than absorb it unconsciously. Keep track. You'll see patterns. Perhaps family arguments dissolve faster, or strangers open up without knowing why. These are not coincidences, they're signals of the contagion effect. Your DNA is transmitting coherence through the invisible field, updating reality one interaction at a time. There's also humor in this truth. Have you ever realized that even your silence in a group can feel loud? People ask, "What are you thinking?" because they sense the vibration. Or maybe pets gravitate toward you, sensing frequencies others overlook. These simple moments are reminders that your presence is more than physical. It's energetic. The field listens, responds, and amplifies. You don't convince anyone by force. You shift the timeline by embodying your resonance. That's the beauty of entanglement, influence without effort. And this is the paradox. Your mission isn't to change others directly, but to become so coherent that change happens naturally. Just like fire doesn't argue with ice. It melts it by being itself. The contagion effect means you don't need to broadcast your awakening. You simply embody it, and others feel the tremor, the warmth, the frequency through resonance. That's why some are drawn to you and others resist. Both are responses to the same signal. The field doesn't lie. It amplifies whatever you carry. But this brings us to an even deeper truth. If your presence alone shifts others, then your body itself must be the proof. The antenna, the station, the living evidence that the field has embedded its code within you. Every tremor, every surge of heat, every dream or déjà vu becomes a signal of embodiment. And that's where we're heading next, into the undeniable evidence written not in theory, but in your very flesh. Your body has never been your enemy. It has always been the antenna, the receiver, the living station through which the quantico field speaks. Those sudden waves of heat, the tremor in your hands, the inexplicable shiver across your spine, they are not random. They are signals. Think of your body like a radio finally tuning into the right frequency after years of static. The pulses, the fire, the vibration are confirmations that the code is alive within you. In 2 minutes, you'll see how even discomfort proves your transformation. Have you felt a zumbido in your ears at night? Or a formigamento in your palms that made no medical sense? That's not malfunction, that's alignment. Your nervous system is recalibrating to coherence with the field. When the observer within you notices these shifts instead of fearing them, you anchor the update. It's like adjusting an old TV antenna. The static may frustrate you, but it's evidence that the signal is near. The body shakes, not because it's failing, but because it's syncing with a higher vibration. Dreams often mirror this process. Lucid dreams where you fly, or vivid dreams that feel more real than waking life, are part of the same coherence. At night, your DNA runs the update without interference. That's why you wake up with déjà vu, or feel exhausted despite sleeping for hours. Your body has been working, integrating the frequencies you absorb during the day. Imagine a computer installing a massive update overnight. It looks idle on the outside, but inside, particles are rearranging, codes are unlocking, alignment is forming. And yes, The process can feel overwhelming. The heat in your chest, the pressure in your head, the tremor in your legs, they can make you think something is wrong. But remember, the field uses sensation as proof. If you were numb, the update wouldn't be happening. Just like a blacksmith must feel the fire to shape the metal, you must feel the invisible fire shaping you. Pain is not punishment, it's transformation. The very sensations you want to escape are the proof that the body is catching up to the soul. Practical tip: instead of resisting the sensations, dialogue with them. Next time you feel that inner fire, place your hand on the spot and ask, "What are you updating?" Don't expect a verbal answer. Expect a shift in awareness, a sense of calm, maybe even a new insight hours later. By asking, you shift from victim to observer, from confusion to coherence. Over time, your body becomes your greatest teacher, guiding you through signals instead of symptoms. The proof was always there. You only had to listen differently. Have you ever noticed how certain foods, places, or people now affect your body more strongly? That's part of the proof. Your system has become more sensitive to frequency. Heavy foods feel like fog. Toxic environments drain your energy. But nature, music, or aligned conversation ignite warmth, expansion, clarity. Your body is mapping resonance in real time. It tells you where your mission is supported and where it's resisted. Advanced souls learn to trust these maps, treating the body not as an obstacle but as a compass. The irony is that society often teaches us to distrust the body, to silence its signals with distraction, medication, or denial. But advanced awakening flips that script. The coherence you seek outside is already pulsing within you. Those invisible tremors, that warmth spreading through your chest, those shivers in moments of truth, they are sacred confirmations. Imagine your body as a temple where the quantum code is etched. Each sensation is an inscription, proving that awakening isn't abstract. It's embodied. And this embodiment sets the stage for what comes next, the great transition. Because once the body has proven the code is alive, the old identity begins to dissolve. Like ice turning to water, the phase change begins, painful at first, but unstoppable once it starts. The sensations you feel are not the end, they are the threshold. And in the next stage, we'll see why resistance to this melting is the only thing keeping you from the freedom waiting ahead. Transformation rarely feels graceful at first. It feels messy, chaotic, even painful. That's because the old self doesn't vanish quietly, it resists. Imagine ice slowly melting, the cracking, the dripping, the collapse of a solid form into liquid freedom. That resistance is what you feel as confusion, fatigue, or emotional tremor. The quantico field isn't punishing you, it's pulling you into coherence. The transition of phase is always uncomfortable because the structure you once trusted can no longer hold. In 2 minutes, you'll see why the pain is the proof. Think of moments in life where change felt unbearable, leaving a job, ending a relationship, or moving to a new city. At first, it feels like losing everything stable. But later, you realize you weren't losing stability, you were shedding rigidity. Ice feels safe because it holds its shape, but it's also frozen, stuck, unmovable. Water, on the other hand, flows, adapts, finds coherence with every environment. Your consciousness goes through the same phase transition. Resistance is natural, but surrender is where freedom begins. Have you ever felt like parts of you are evaporating? Old habits, old beliefs, even old friendships dissolving. That's not failure, it's physics. Just like molecules release heat as they move from solid to liquid, your energy releases tension as it collapses into a new frequency. You might feel déjà vu, zumbido, or even disorientation as the timeline adjusts. But remember, ice doesn't argue with the fire. It melts. The more you resist, the more painful it feels. The more you surrender, the smoother the flow becomes. Practical analogy. Think of your closet. When it's full of clothes you never wear, there's no space for new ones. The only way to update your wardrobe is to let go of what no longer fits. Your consciousness works the same way. If you keep holding on to old versions of yourself, identities, labels, stories, you block the update. By releasing, you allow the field to bring coherence. Try this. Write down 3 beliefs that feel heavy and declare, "I release this to make space." Notice how your body responds. That's phase transition in action. And here's the paradox. The very sensations you dread, the heat, the pressure, the invisible trembling, are the signs that the ice is breaking. Without them, you would remain frozen. It's like the cracking sound before spring, when frozen rivers begin to flow again. Pain signals momentum. Discomfort signals transformation. If you feel nothing, it means nothing is changing. But when you feel the body fire, the emotional storm, the collapse of familiar timelines, that's when you know you're alive in the field of awakening. There's humor here too. Think of how we resist melting. We cling to routines, titles, and comfort zones as if they'll save us, forgetting that ice eventually cracks no matter how tightly it tries to stay frozen. Life has a way of applying heat exactly where it's needed. Have you noticed how the same lesson keeps repeating until you let go? That's the fire of coherence, insisting you evolve. The field doesn't let ice remain ice forever. Sooner or later, it flows. The beauty of this transition is that once you melt, you discover new abilities. Water can flow, carve valleys, reflect the sky, nourish life. Ice could only sit still. Similarly, your new self becomes flexible, intuitive, able to adapt to vibrations and frequencies you once resisted. The déjà vu, the strange sensations, the synchronicities, they all intensify during this phase because your particles are reorganizing. What feels like collapse is actually liberation. The fire isn't destroying you, it's revealing you. And yet, this melting raises a deeper question. Once the old identity dissolves, how do you anchor the new? Because water, though free, can evaporate without form. That's where ritual enters, conscious actions that seal the update into the field. The phase transition is only complete when you choose to embody the new coherence. And that's why the next stage of our journey brings us into a practice, a ritual of quantum anchoring that ensures your transformation holds. Every transformation needs an anchor. Without one, even the most powerful awakening can drift like vapor. That's where ritual comes in, not as superstition, but as coherence made visible. When you declare a word, when you seal an intention, you're not just speaking, you're coding the field. Imagine typing a command into a computer. One simple line shifts the entire system. That's what a ritual does for your consciousness. In 2 minutes, you'll see how even a single word can stabilize the update already alive in your DNA. Words are not just sounds, they're frequencies, vibrations that collapse possibilities into reality. Have you ever noticed how saying "I can't" drains your energy, while saying "I will" ignites it? That's resonance in action. By choosing a word like awakened, aligned, or code, and declaring it with intention, you create a signal in the morphic field. It's not about impressing others, it's about aligning yourself. One word, repeated consistently, becomes a beacon for your observer, reminding you of who you already are becoming. A simple practice: choose your activation word tonight. Write it in the comments below, not as an interaction for me, but as a seal for you. Think of it like leaving a footprint in wet cement. The word hardens into the field, anchoring your timeline, and to amplify it, whisper it before sleep for 3 nights. Why 3? Because repetition builds coherence, and the subconscious responds to rhythm. On the 3rd night, notice how your dreams shift, how synchronicities increase, how your body reacts with subtle fire or déjà vu. Have you ever written something down and later been shocked at how it manifested. That's because the act of declaring anchors the vibration. The ritual works the same way. Whether you write, whisper, or meditate on the word, you are syncing your nervous system with the quantico field. Think of it as saving a document after hours of typing. Without saving, the data is lost. With one click, it's preserved. Your ritual is that click. It keeps the update from evaporating into forgetfulness. And this is where intention meets embodiment. Don't just pick a word randomly. Let your intuition guide you. If you feel fire in your chest when you think of awakened, that's the code choosing you. If your hands tingle at the thought of aligned, that's your DNA syncing. The right word will feel alive in your body, a vibration, a formigamento, a heat. That's the signal. When you find it, declare it, anchor it, seal it. You'll know it's real because your body confirms it. Practical application. Set a daily reminder on your phone with your activation word. Let it pop up at random times, pulling you back into coherence. For example, imagine your screen lighting up at 3:33 with the word aligned. That's not coincidence. It becomes a synchronicity, a nudge from the field. Over weeks, the repetition weaves into your consciousness like thread into fabric. What started as a simple word becomes a living code, a constant reminder that you're walking a new timeline. There's also a collective power in this. When many declare their activation words together, the resonance amplifies. It's like a choir. One voice is beautiful, but many create a vibration that shakes walls. When you write your word in the comments, you're not only anchoring yourself, you're syncing with others. The field multiplies coherence. Suddenly, you're not just one advanced soul. You're part of a network of lighthouses, transmitting the same signal, updating the dimension from the inside out. And here's the loop. Once you've anchored the code, the question becomes, what do you do with it? Because ritual isn't the end. It's the seal before the expansion. Anchoring ensures you don't lose what you've gained, but the field is already preparing the next step. The update doesn't stop here. It grows, evolves, ripples outward. And in the final moments, we'll see how to live this coherence daily, turning awakening from a moment into a mission. You are not just awakening. You are the field itself, remembering through you. Every tremor, every vibration, every déjà vu has been proof that you're not isolated. You're entangled with the whole. Feel this. When your body heats up, when your dreams carry symbols, when your heart senses more than logic allows, it's not only your story unfolding, it's the planet updating in real time through your coherence. You never walked alone. You are the morphic resonance, the hidden signal, the advanced soul that carries the mission of transition. And here's the seal. Now that you've remembered who you are, the campo responds instantly. Watch carefully because the next synchronicity won't take days. It will show up within hours. This is not the end. It's a portal. From here, your reality bends in ways you once dismissed. A single word declared now, awakened, aligned, code, becomes the anchor that locks the update in your DNA. Declare it in the comments, not for me, but for you. Hit like, share this transmission with someone you know is ready, and subscribe so you remain in resonance with a community that amplifies your mission. Each interaction is not routine. It's frequency in action, a ripple that seals your place in the collective awakening. And here's the loop. The code is alive, but the leap is only beginning. What happens next is hidden in plain sight, a detail so overlooked that most advanced souls never notice it. That detail is the key to sustaining the vibration you've just activated. It's waiting for you in the next video on your screen. Step forward. The salto begins now.